welcome. You are in Luann Pikett's kitchen, and today I'm making something I haven't made for a few years, so I know I haven't done this on live. It's called Three Village Inn Apple Crisp. Now this is going to be an unusual apple crisp in that it does not have oatmeal in it. Almost every one I've ever seen, they have oatmeal in them. And I went on the hunt one day for an apple crisp recipe that had no oatmeal because, and though I like oatmeal cookies and things, I don't really like oatmeal in apple crisp. To me, the oatmeal gets like all crunchy and like little rocks. And so I'm not that crazy about, I will eat it. If you give me apple crisp without oatmeal in it, I will eat it because I do like it. I just am not that crazy about the oatmeal part. So this is basically like an apple crumb pie with no pie crust. It's apples with the crumb topping. So what you do is you cut up, now this is, I'm doubling this recipe because it doesn't really make very much. So trust me, it's going to be gone in a minute. And so this is double the recipe. So this is 10 cups, which is about 8, 9, 10 apples. It's about, I think it's about 8 apples. These are Granny Smith apples, the green apples, because they keep their shape really well when you cook them. And so you're going to cut them all up. Now, I actually cut these up last night, then put them in cold or just in water, in regular water, and put them in the refrigerator and kept them covered so they didn't oxidize. And then they do a little bit, but it's not going to matter. They're going to turn brown in the oven. Anyway, but that way you can do it night ahead. So then you want to drain the water off really well, or, you know, just do them when you fresh cut them. So then that's what I have, all these apples, and then you are going to put, it is optional for you to put a cup of raisins. If you don't want raisins, you just leave those out. I like the raisins in it though because it makes it a lot sweeter, and I like the taste of raisins. I like raisins in apple pie. So I have the thing of raisins here. It looks like it might be close to the right amount in this container. I don't know, but let me go ahead and put them in my measuring cup and see what we get. They're all stuck in here. But if, like I say, if you don't, you know, you could probably add dried cranberries or any fruit. You could probably add any fruit you want, any dried fruit. Or just leave it out. Yeah, this is going to be like exactly the right amount. How about that? I love when that happens and you empty your container. And then you can get rid of your container and you used it all up. You don't have to open a new one for like a tablespoon. Now, it's not at exactly the tippy top, but it's close enough. So there is a cup of raisins. So, you know, break those up a little bit. Stir those around. Then you're going to add into this, you're going to add in, I would say, I kicked it up a little bit. So you're going to have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon and 2 teaspoons of sugar. And that's what I have here. It's not a lot because most of the stuff's going to be in your topping. So you're going to mix your couple teaspoons of sugar and cinnamon together. This piece of sugar it got damp when it rained when I went grocery shopping the day I got that. That's why it's like that. So it's not very much sugar you're actually putting on the apples. But you're putting cinnamon because the sugar's in the topping. It's a lot of sugar in the topping. So I'm going to put like half of it on there, stir it around. You just kind of want to coat your apples with the cinnamon sugar. When I first made this, I thought, oh, there's not hardly any sugar. That's not going to be very sweet. But no, the topping is so sweet. You don't need it on the apples. Okay. But then you are going to want to eat it. Don't cut down the sugar on the topping. So you're then going to make like a crumb topping. So here are your apples coated with the cinnamon. Just want to make sure they get, you know, coated well. You could spray the pan. I have a tendency to not spray the pan. It's going to be so juicy. I don't think you need to. Then this probably would work better in a 9 by 13 pan. This is a 10 by 10. It may be a little too full. We're going to try it. I just want, since I'm taking it to Mom's house, I'm kind of wanting to cut down the size of how big of stuff I have to carry around. And this is lighter. So I'm pushing it down in here, and then we're going to put this crumb topping on top. Let me get that all the cinnamon off my hands here. Now for the topping, let me put this out of the way. I'm also heating my chili up over here that I cooked last night. It looks so good. But I'm heating it up slowly. take my food processor, right there, and we're going to add in here, I just want the lid off, we're going to add 1.5 cups of brown sugar. And this is really good because it uses brown sugar as your sugar. So it gives it so much more flavor. Let me see, this is a 1/2 cup measure. And this 1/2 cup measure, it doesn't fit down in here very well. Well, let me use the 1/4 cup because it actually fits in my container. One. Oh goodness, this batch of brown sugar was so dried. 2. It's kind of stuck in here. There we go. 3. Just a little bit of that left in there. That's 3/4 cup. All right, let me open up a new batch here. I always, when I get sugar, I read this somewhere that if you're baking, you want sugar that says it's pure cane sugar. If it doesn't say pure cane sugar, it's usually made with beet sugar. Now, it isn't going to taste bad. It'll taste the same. If it just says sugar, it doesn't say pure cane, that doesn't bake as well, they say. So you want pure cane sugar to bake with. Isn't that interesting? I had no idea they were using something besides cane sugar to make sugar. All right, that's 1 cup. So then here I'm going to go to my bigger one for this bag and have 1.5 cups. So that ends up 1.5 cups of brown sugar in my food processor. Let me put this in my, put this here in my holder. There we go. And I put my little disc in here that keeps it soft. The other batch that I had in there, it didn't get, it was in a box and was in the, I guess I had it for a while. And I never got that little disc in there fast enough for that to fix that. So that's why that one was so like hard, but it'll still work. Now I'm going to put this on here and mix it a little bit, get this all broken up. Some hard brown sugar in there. Okay, so we got it all broken up. Now we're going to add 1 cup of flour plus 2 tablespoons. 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons. And I actually have all this mixed right here. I did this last night, so I'd be kind of ready. 1 cup of flour plus 2 tablespoons. 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. I actually think I went in and put a teaspoon. And 1/4 teaspoon of salt. That's what's in here. So we're going to mix this in with the sugar. So this is what makes a crumb topping. It's basically flour and sugar and butter. And of course you can put cinnamon in it, which we have in there. Remember, we have some cinnamon on the apples and some cinnamon in the topping. So we're going to mix this now. It doesn't sound like it's mixing rocks anymore. Okay, so there's our sugar and flour mix. Then we're going to add 12 tablespoons of butter. That's 1.5 sticks. And you want cold butter because it's going to make little crumbs. And then I'm going to take, let me find a good knife here. That'll work. Okay, so then we're going to take the butter and I'm going to go ahead and take it and like chop it in little cubes. And then you're going to mix it in your food processor and then really you're going to be done. You're going to put this on top and that's it. And then you're going to bake this at 350 for 45 minutes. Now this tells you if it starts to brown too quickly, you can top it with, where does it say that? Place a sheet of brown paper over the pan. Okay. I've never heard of putting brown paper over something cooking in the oven. You ever put brown paper? And I'm going to put foil over it. I don't have any brown paper. I got to get brown paper. Yeah, I don't have that. Do they make that for baking? I don't know. I know they make parchment paper. All right, so I'm cutting them. So like they're like this size already. So I'm just cutting them in little pieces. And then this will make like little crumbs, and it does it real. You can do this with a pastry cutter and do it by hand, but the food processor is so much faster. But you definitely can just use a pastry cutter or 2 knives or 2 forks or something and do it by hand. It just takes longer. And you've just got to get it mixed in well. And you're just going to put this on top. Like I said, bake for 45 minutes. That's why I think they said check to make sure it's not browning too fast, because it's in there for 45 minutes. It's kind of long. You want to just make sure your apples are bubbly. So if your apples are not bubbly, I'd bake it longer, but that's when you're going to want to cover it, I think. But to me, this is like the best apple crisp. Now, if you want the one with oatmeal, there's 1,000 recipes for that. And it's probably healthier because it has oatmeal in it. This does not. So this is really apple crumb pie with no bottom crust. And I love this one. No hard little rock oatmeal pieces in it. I don't mind the oatmeal if it's like nice and moist. I don't like it hard and it gets to where it just takes all the moisture out of it. It tastes like little pieces of cardboard to me. Like, it gets like stuck in your teeth. Okay, here we go. And this will be really, really good if you served it with vanilla ice cream or whipped cream. It's really good with whipped cream. Served hot on top of with ice cream on top of it. Oh, so good. We don't have any ice cream, I don't think, so that's a lot more calories too. Here we go. So you're just gonna mix this until it gets to where it like has little, see where it has like little chunks in it? See these little chunks, look like little rocks in there, little chunks of butter. That's what you want, and then you're going to pour it on top. Can you see the stove over there? Let's move it. This is just so in the way, isn't it? There we go. Actually, what I need to do is move this thing. There, now we can see well. Okay, then I'm just going to dump it in. And hope it doesn't all fall off, because I really should have put this in a bigger pan. Oh, this is going to be so good. Spread it all the way to your edges. You want to cover all the apples so they don't dry out. I'm just pushing it to the edge here. There we go. Dump that on top there. That's, oh, there's some in the corner. Hold on. I was going to say that's all. That's not all. Caught here in the edges. There we go. Okay. And then it should hopefully shrink down. You know, apples usually shrink down when they cook. So I'm hoping I don't make a big mess with this and hope it shrinks down. But I am going to put it on a tray in the oven. So we're going to put this in there for 45 minutes. I probably will come check it just to see if I need to cover it. And we'll probably just lay foil on top of it because I don't have any brown paper. And putting brown paper in the oven sounds a little scary. I suppose they must do that. Okay, there we go. And now our apple crisp is done. Well, it's ready for the oven. It's not done. So, my oven is on. Move this out of the way. Oh, it's plugged in. It'll move better if I unplug it. There we go. Now you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to move this. I get my recipe over here. Put that on my pan. Centered in my pan. Put this in my oven. And I'm probably going to check it at about 25 minutes or something, and then it'll go another 20 and see if it is browning too much or something. So, and there we go. Timer is set. It's ready to go. Now I'm going to go put on my makeup. If you would like to return. Hi, Mary. And just give me about 5-10 minutes or something, and then I'm going to go set up to do my makeup. And then you can watch me do that if you want something else to do. Thank you for joining me. Bye.